Hi, kindergarten families. I wanted to think of a way that I could update you regularly about what we are doing in our classroom, and I just much prefer a video being able to talk to you than writing out something like a newsletter. So I'm gonna try every week, if not every other week, to send you a video like this with updates about what's going on in our classroom. So I wanted to start by talking about literacy. In literacy, we've just finished our unit on nursery rhymes and fables. Your students will take a test on this content on Friday. So tomorrow, your students are going to take a test on this. They're ready. Students who have been out, I know there are certain students who are out on quarantine, things like that. We will accommodate for that. I certainly don't want to test any students who are not in the building and haven't gotten this lesson, but your students have been doing really well. These are all of the nursery rhymes and fables that they have learned. So you can ask them about any of them. They should be able to recite all of them, and they know a number of vocabulary words that accompany these nursery rhymes and fables. Our next unit, we will be starting on Monday on the five senses. We will start honestly just with all five. So having them start thinking about and talking about which sense they're using. Their hearing uses their ears, their sight uses their eyes. Things like that are going to really help to enrich the learning that they are doing in our classroom. And then this is the relevant vocabulary that they will be held responsible for in this unit. All of the relevant vocabulary is vocabulary that has multiple meanings, right? So pupil is the pupil of your eye, but also a student is a pupil. So those will come up as they come up each week. I will include them and their definitions in this PowerPoint so that you are aware of what vocabulary that we are holding your students accountable for. They've done really, really well with the nursery rhyme vocabulary, so I'm very confident that they will do well with upcoming vocab as well. And then, so the second part of our literacy is called our skills block. This is more of our like phonics instruction. Right now, I know you're getting a lot of work that looks like this, and I'm sure you're wondering what we are teaching your children in kindergarten. Um, this is a lot of work. This is practicing tracing. We're focusing a lot on holding that pencil the right way as they do their tracing. And being able to recognize shapes, because recognizing shapes and recognizing lines are the foundational skills to recognizing letters and words and things like that. Another thing that has recently come up is you've seen some like this. Now, usually, if you are curious, the directions are on the right side of excuse me, the directions are on the right hand side, kind of running up the page, so you are able to see what they were responsible for. This particular assignment, they were responsible for identifying the beginning and the end, getting them used to reading from left to right, which picture is in the beginning, all the way to which picture is in the end. This assignment, they were responsible for recognizing shapes that are the same. So if I see this, what looks like the same? So then when I learned the word the, which one also looks like the word the? This is how we can transfer those skills. We start pictorially before we move into letters and sounds. However, we are going to be done with this unit. Oh, I'm sorry, moving, I'll come back. Another huge thing that we are working on right now is blending. The way we are teaching it to your students is like this. So for fun, right, let me scoot back so you can see me. They hold their arm out and they go uh mm, fun, fun. Another one they might do, you can see a bunch of words we've done. So the last one is nose. O, z, nose, nose. So down here, I've put a bunch of words that we have been working on, but this is anything they can practice. If you can think of anything that has three sounds, they can practice. This is a huge skill, and it's not easy for kindergartners to pick up. So the more that they can practice, touch, say a sound, touch a part, say them all as you go down the arm, and then say it quickly, It'll be really, really beneficial as they start learning to sound out words. Um, this is a strategy that we are going to use a lot. Now, where I was headed, excuse me, is that these are the sounds that we are going to start working on within the next 2 weeks. Mm, ah, t, and d. Students are going to be responsible for recognizing these letters in their lowercase form and producing the sound that goes with them. So these are sounds you can start practicing. These are things that they can start looking for, practice writing, practice finding, practice saying. These are the first 4 sounds in our reading unit. Now, in writing, I wanted to show you. You've been getting a lot of books that look like this. Right now, what we are really working on is labeling, so that when they do start writing, they're not going to be writing in full sentences. But if they can label their picture, it will help to communicate their message, and it will help them to remember what it is that they're writing about so that they can build a story over days. Because if not, we don't write one story a day, we work on it for days and weeks. So the labeling is really crucial to help them better communicate what their pictures are and to help them remember what it is that they are writing about. So right now in class, I put the pictures up on the board of each page and then I'll say, find the one that says pumpkin, pumpkin. They put their finger on it, they draw the arrow. Or, I see one that starts with, what do you see in the picture that starts with a hat? And so then they'll put their arrows like this to indicate where each thing is. And then their next responsibility is to color it and color it well so that their picture can communicate a message to whomever is reading it. I did take some pictures of some kids who've been doing a really good job with this. So, excuse me, I just wanted to share some of that work that they have been doing to this point. Right. Now, on to math. This one's a little shorter. Um, One thing that we have just started working on, it's going to come up a lot, is the counting sequence, figuring out what is my missing number. 1, 2, 3, or 3 something 1. Going forwards, going backwards. Right now, we're working within 3. We will extend next week to 5. And then the other one that is important is we are adding that 0. When we count, we go 0, 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1, 0. This is really big for them to recognize these numbers, to know that this is a 1, this is a 3. To write these numbers, I know I need a 2 here. How do I write it? And to get that sequence forwards and backwards. This is definitely something that they can practice at home, either out loud saying what it is, or they can practice on paper with things like that. If you have some cards, you can kind of mix them up. I'll take cards, number cards, and then have the kids cover their eyes, hide one of the cards, and ask them which number is hiding. So they get that idea that that blank spot used to have a card, which card goes in there. And then this is the other thing that we have just recently started. We are starting number sentences. Right now we're working with 3, then we'll go to 4, then we will go to 5. Interestingly, something that's different from probably when you grew up, when I grew up for sure, is that we actually start with the equal sign first. 3 equals 1 plus 2. 3 equals 2 plus 1. We just started this. It's brand new, but the kids are going to become responsible for being able to depict that visually. So if it's 1 plus 2, then I color 1 and then I color 2 a different color. Versus if it's 2 plus 1, I color 2 and then I color that 1 a different color. And then after that, they are responsible for writing the number sentence. As you can see, it's right here. I don't expect them to remember it. A lot of them are still forgetting this plus sign or this equal sign. It's okay. It'll come with time. But this is what you're going to start seeing coming home a lot. These are definitely things that your students can be practicing at home. Now, just some updates that I wanted to send along to you. We have started in our classroom using our Google Classroom just a little bit to get the students familiar with using the laptop, and to help them to start to do some more work independently on the computer. A couple things that I wanted to make you aware of. I am going to be sending you an invite as a guardian to our Google Classroom to this email address. So whatever email address that you are receiving this video on, you'll also receive the Google Classroom. The Google Classroom invite. That way you'll be able to see your own students' work, the work that they're completing. Um, I might not put grades up there, but I might. It kind of depends. If I do grade, I'll definitely let you know. You'll be able to see their grades on there. Um, Google Classroom is also what we use in case of quarantine. So we're working on getting your students familiar with it. Um, but we wanted you to be connected as well so that in the event that there's a quarantine, you also have access to what is happening with your students. We do have well, not quite, yes, well, the pickup, excuse me, drop off or pickup rather is new. So um, we are no longer going to come outside in the mornings. The kids know how to come in. They know how to get their day started. I would much rather, especially since it's getting colder, have them come right into the building and get their day started than wait outside. So we are going to start just having them come in. If there was something that you needed to talk to us about, please email, text, call. We're happy to help you. Just because we're not out there doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you and check in with you. And then this went home today. Pick My Kid is an app that we are going to start using. Check your students folder. It should have gone home today. You need to download the app. This is how our new pickup process is going to work. I'm not sure exactly which day we are rolling it out, so I'll send out more information once the school is set up, but I did want to flag that for you. Additionally, I wanted to flag this went home for you. It's paperwork about optional COVID testing. It will be um, it will be offered every week for any unvaccinated students, which we know your students are not vaccinated because they don't meet the age requirements. So that information is in the folder as well. And then I did put just a quick note that your students may quarantine individually or with a group. That group may not be our class, it may be their bus. Some of you are already experiencing that, but we will be in as much communication with you as we can during that time. We certainly want to best support you and your student during that time. So, in the event that that happens, we will be calling or emailing or texting to make sure that we are supporting you as best we can while your student is outside of school. Um, the exception to that, my personal rule, if your child is quarantining because they are sick, I'm not going to bother you. Take care of your baby. When they come back, we'll take care of it. But if your child is sick and they are under quarantine for their own illness, I might tell you I hope that they feel better. Other than that, I won't be sending work unless you specifically ask me for it. And then I wanted to send you this. I wanted to thank those of you who made it to open house yesterday. Those of you who did not, I sent home paperwork in their backpacks today. This blue or yellow paper, it has our schedule, our daily class schedule, our contact information is on it. We have the school calendar and then some tips of things you can do to support your student at home. And then this one is a quick guide to Google Classroom. Like I said, in the event of a quarantine, we may end up transitioning to Google Classroom for a little bit. If that's the case, I don't want you to feel stranded. So this should help you a little bit. And then if that does happen, I will send much more information about it as well. And I believe that that's it. So thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you do. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, anything that you'd like to share, the best way to reach me is by text, but you can also always email me. My email is mholsart@highvillecharter.com, and then you can text me or call me at 860-377-4281. Thank you so much.